Hello, and welcome to Ice is Slippery, an unserious podcast about hockey brought to you by 1.5 hockey fans. My name is Kate, and I'm the hockey fan.
And my name is Fred. I am half a hockey fan.
Half a hockey fan.
There we go.
Yeah, good job. This is going to go great.
Oh, man, we're already off to a great start.
Merry Christmas, Fred.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
All of those things.
Yes.
How are we today?
We're good. I think we're both tired. I think we're both achy.
We're very middle-aged today.
Yeah, we're feeling real middle-aged today.
Feeling every minute of our 40-something years as individuals.
Yeah, but otherwise, pretty good.
Otherwise, pretty good.
Haven't had to work in a while.
That's always welcome.
Yep.
We had Christmas, so we got to get some Christmas presents, which...
We love that.
I love that.
Yep.
I know you're kind of a minimalist, so...
Yeah.
I actually didn't get you anything this year, which was a huge thing for me.
Yeah, correct. Well,
I'm a gift giver.
I know.
I do.
You agreed to my gift that I had to buy on Black Friday.
That's true. I did.
So...
But usually I would buy you other stuff too. And then you would be like, that's nice. But you would secretly be stressed about having more stuff that you didn't need.
Especially after buying my actual Christmas present.
Which was a lathe?
Yeah.
Yes. So
wasn't of the cheapest variety.
It was not. No. He likes to woodwork. He's a Renaissance man, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
I got some sports merch, which is always nice. I'm pretty easy to shop for around the holidays. These
Yeah, in the last couple of years, it's just been like, get her hockey shit.
Get her hockey shit, and we're good.
Yep.
I've got some Dallas Stars sweatpants for my sister, which I'm wearing right now.
Mm-hmm.
She also got me a Gritty Funko Pop.
Yeah.
Which is adorable. I got my sequin Dallas Stars jacket that I talked about last week that arrived, and
yeah,
fantastic.
Yep.
But probably my biggest surprise came from you, my lovely co-host in life.
Yeah.
So you got me a ticket to go see the Stars in Denver when they come play the Avalanche in January.
Correct.
Yes. So I'm very excited about that.
Yep.
I will be posting about that on the socials, and I'm sure talking all about it on the internet.
We will not hear the end of it for a while.
No, you'll hear about it on the podcast. You'll hear it all over the place.
Yep.
I, would like to take you to a hockey game at some point, but we have a 13-year-old who does not want to have anything to do with hockey. So you've decided to hang out with her instead, which is very responsible and fatherly of you.
Yeah, for this game. And whenever they come back, we'll go together. But
yeah, this game is pretty pricey.
Yeah, for some reason. I don't know. The tickets were not reasonable.
They were not. So
that's a one-person ticket.
That's a one-person ticket. So, well, thank you for spending the budget of two people on a one-person ticket for me. So this episode might end up being a little shorter this week just because the league was on break for 3 days, or at least they were supposed to be.
Dun, dun, dun.
The Dallas Stars had an illicit practice on December 26th.
An illicit practice?
Yes. And we found out because Pete DeBoer is a master of subterfuge and talked about it in a post game or something and said, on the 26th, we had an optional practice. And of course, the younger guys showed up because the younger guys are always going to have to show up for optional practices.
Right.
Thing is, according to the CBA that the Players Union has negotiated, that December 26th is not a day when any team stuff is supposed to be scheduled.
Yeah.
You can't even travel on that day.
Right.
A couple of years ago, the Maple Leafs got fined $100,000 for traveling on that day. It was at 10 p.m.
Right.
And the players voted to leave early because otherwise they would have had to deal with flying in bad weather.
Right.
Didn't matter. The organization still had to pay $100,000. And this was just Pete like, oops, my bad.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a little disappointing to hear Pete being like, come in and practice on your day off. Like, what's that about?
I kind of get it because we haven't been so good, but It's like, okay, well, we had extra practice and spoiler alert, didn't really help with the next game we had after that.
Yeah.
So, the people on the internet are like, oh, the Dallas Stars cheated and still can't win. And I'm like, I don't know if having an optional practice because you don't know how to read the schedule is cheating.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't call that cheating. I would just call that bad management and a culture problem.
Correct.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. If my boss is having me come in on a day off, like, it's not a place I want to work.
Right. Yeah. Just kind of average stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to the break, things definitely happened, but truthfully, I don't remember a lot of them. This week has felt like it was a month.
Yeah. This was not a hockey week.
No, yeah. Tuesday through Thursday, there was really no hockey.
Which was I enjoyed. We watched a movie.
We caught up on the Great British Baking Show.
Yep.
We finished this most recent season. We watched all of the Holiday Baking Championship.
Yep.
Which is far inferior to Great British Baking Show, but it has Jesse Palmer, who is a surprisingly delightful host.
That'll be on our cooking competition podcast.
Yes.
Further details.
Yes. Which we will never have because this one's hard enough.
Yep, we did that. We watched Fight Club.
We did with our 13-year-old.
Yep.
So she liked it. She thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it was nice to have a little downtime from the incessant hockey. We didn't even watch hockey content on YouTube because there wasn't much.
No, there really wasn't.
Yeah, other than the hockey guy, but he never sleeps. So.
No, he never does. Well, the one thing I do remember that happened prior to the break was that the Panthers played the Lightning on Monday, and Matthew Tkachuk took a pretty gnarly-looking knee-on-knee hit from Kucherov.
Oh, yeah, we saw that.
And the internet acted completely normal about it.
Of course.
Yeah, they were like, Matthew Tkachuk, oh, hey, that's unfortunate. I hope he didn't get hurt. That's not what happened.
Right.
Everyone was convinced he, was embellishing and making things up, and that he immediately knew in the moment he was fine, but he threw a tantrum and left and was malingering until Kucherov got a game misconduct.
Right.
But then came back on the ice and was fine, and that was the theory.
Yeah.
That's what professional hockey players do.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to anybody's comments on the internet about hockey because, one, they probably don't and have never played hockey, but also they're idiots.
It's true.
Yeah.
And we know all about idiots having opinions about hockey. We have a podcast about hockey.
It gives us a little leg up, right? We're experts.
I mean, we are idiots. And so we understand that just because you have a sort of mouthpiece of some variety, it doesn't mean that you know anything.
True.
So that's just my point. And then as the break came to the end, we also learned that Derek Lalonde, the head coach of the Red Wings, received a real bummer of a Christmas gift.
Yep.
And he was fired. I believe he's now the fourth coach of the season to have lost his job.
Not the last, I don't think.
Not the last, probably not.
Yeah, I really didn't know that guy. I don't know the Red Wings, so I didn't care, and I still don't care, and I will continue to not care.
I mostly care about the Red Wings because I have a doctor who likes the Red Wings and he's cool. So, and he puts up with my hockey ramblings.
Yeah. No, I got no interest in that team whatsoever.
Yep.
I know they have Patrick Kane.
They do have him now. Yes.
That's all I know about them.
Dylan Larkin's the captain.
Nope. I know the name.
People. One of the reasons people don't like Jamie Benn is because he hurt Dylan Larkin.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. That's right. That's where yeah. Anyway. Red Wings, whatever.
Red Wings. People thought the coach looked like Gru from Despicable Me.
Interesting.
Which is also a movie we've seen pretty recently.
Yeah, we binged all the
Despicable Me. Nostalgia rewatches with our kid. The holidays. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Everyone should avoid the third one, by the way.
It's really not good.
It's really bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Fourth one's actually pretty good.
You can listen to all of this on our Despicable Me podcast coming soon to nowhere. So really, we can go back to Friday. That's, I think, really when this week starts for me.
Yeah, I guess it does start on Friday. There was something on Thursday or no?
No, Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Everybody was off.
All right, good deal.
So Friday was, I guess we'll start off with non-NHL stuff.
Okay.
World Juniors kicked off.
Oh, everyone was talking about that.
Everyone was talking about that. The big thing being that Latvia beat Canada in a pretty stunning upset.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a medal round, so Canada's still in it. It was just kind of one of the early round robin rounds of the tournament.
But that's enough for everyone to lose their shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Canada's pretty dominant.
Yeah.
Although I think US won gold last year. So, and the Canadians take that very personally.
Gotcha. Yeah.
They don't like that.
Nope.
But yes, the Latvian goaltender Leonard Felberg made 55 saves in regulation. The game went to a shootout, and it was 8 rounds of shootout.
It's a lot of pucks on net for that guy.
Many, many, many pucks on net. And it's really impressive just because Latvia has the youngest roster at World Juniors. Many of the players there they're not even draft eligible yet.
Right.
They wouldn't even be eligible for the draft until next year or the year after.
They're children.
So they're tiny babies.
Yeah.
They're not from the biggest hockey country compared to, say, Canada. This was only Latvia's...
You don't say. Latvia v. Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
This was only Latvia's third ever victory at World Juniors.
Nice.
So huge, huge upset.
Yeah.
Canada did have one thing going for it, which was Jet Luchenko, Flyers prospect.
Oh, yeah, we like him.
Yeah, he scored a shorthanded goal. So that was pretty
That
sassy.
is awesome. Yeah.
Loved that. But anyway, Latvia went on to lose to the U.S. the next day, but only 2-0, which a lot of times these games are bloodbaths at World Juniors. So
gotcha.
It's, pretty big, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a world of hockey I'm not interested in. It's enough to follow the NHL. I don't need to follow children around the world. That's going to be a lot for me. But I will say I did really enjoy when they won, that goalie coming off the ice. Like, you could see the excitement and the shock.
He was so stoked. And then his teammates just like ruffling his helmet.
Yeah. It was great.
It was so awesome. No, I don't really follow juniors that closely yet. It's probably another year and I'll be down that rabbit hole too.
That's all that's going to be left. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing the draft and I'm doing the off season and I'm doing so much. So it's really only a matter of time.
You're going to be going around to the local rink scouting people pretty soon.
I mean, small town, not much to do. In the NHL, lots of things happened on Friday, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The Leafs played the Red Wings and Mitch Marner scored his third career hat trick.
Yep.
We watched the highlights of that and the first goal was absolutely insane. John Tavares did this like backwards between the legs pass.
Oh, like through the slot, like over to him.
Like through the seam, like.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was some real amulet shit.
Yeah.
That was just
wizardry. Amulet's the only answer for what just happened there.
Yeah. No, absolute sorcery.
Yep.
And that was not the only hat trick in the NHL that night. There must have been something in the water. The Avalanche played Utah and Arturi Lehkonen scored his first NHL hat trick.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the Sabres played Chicago and Sabres forward Alex Tuch scored his third career hat trick.
Yeah.
That effort helped the Sabres win a second game in a row.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I don't know about them.
I mean, they beat Chicago 6-2. And on Monday, the Monday before break, they absolutely walloped the Islanders 7-1.
Mm-hmm.
And so those.
Oh, right. 7-1. That's the one where Patrick Waugh pulled the goalie with like 12 minutes left or something.
Yeah, we had that one on. We switched over to that one once we saw kind of how bad of a blowout it was turning into. And it was wild.
What a madman.
He's
going to get fired too.
You love him. And you were so confused about how such a insane coach has such a boring team.
I am. He must be real boring behind the scenes or something because he's interesting and exciting from what I've seen. But yeah, I don't know.
The team is dull and that predates him. So, and it's not just us, everybody else. They're just like the ambient of hockey teams.
Yeah. So the Sabres have started doing good ever since the head guy flew in and was like, hey, whatever, we're just going to leave it alone.
Oh, no, they still lost like 3 games after that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So they're not all of a sudden turned around.
No, but it did. They have now ended their 13-game losing streak, which was not a record, believe it or not. The record was an 18-game losing streak, which was held by 2 different teams in a tie, one of them being the Buffalo Sabres.
Okay.
So they're kind of historically like that.
Yep.
Vegas beat the Sharks 6-3 on Friday, and it's always hard to see Vegas win. So I don't like to talk about that. Okay. But there were some good things that happened, so I figured I'd bring it up.
Okay.
Tomas Hertl returned to San Jose for the first time since he left for Vegas, and he got a nice tribute.
Yep.
The NHL showed a short of his 4-goal game from several years ago that led to Joe Thornton coining the phrase dick trick, which I had to explain to you the whole origin.
Oh, that's where it came from?
Yes. Yeah, that's what it came from.
Oh, Tom. Okay. All right. I got reference for that now. I know Hertl.
Yes. So, no, he was like a rookie at the time. He was, I think, 19. He barely spoke a word of English. And Thornton wasn't even getting interviewed. It was somebody else, maybe Patrick Marleau or somebody. And an interviewer was like, what do you think about this kid like showboating or something like that?
How disrespectful of him to score goals.
It was very much like that. And Joe Thornton was like, hey, and interrupted. And he was like, well, I won't quote what he said because I'm a mother.
Yes.
But I think everybody knows. Yeah. Anyway, he said some things about what he would do if he scored 4 goals in a single game.
Mm-hmm.
And they were pretty adult.
Yeah.
So Anyway, that's why it's called a dick trick. And now that I've explained all of this to you, it's, I think, more times than I've ever said dick to you. And we've been married for over 20 years, or together for over 20 years.
Yeah. And I will promptly forget this in 15 minutes.
I know. We already had this whole conversation on Friday night. We've already forgotten it. So you're like, oh, really? That's what that was. And I'm like, we just had this conversation.
Maybe I was doing it for the podcast.
You definitely weren't.
Nope.
I know you did not know what was going on.
Nope, sure didn't.
Some other fun things from that game. Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini collaborated on a few goals.
Yep.
Including one where Celebrini did this like diving pass to get the puck to Smith.
Yeah.
And then Smith sort of passed it back to him without looking, it even looked like. And Celebrini got it in the goal. It was so insane.
It's nice to see. I know everyone was pretty psyched about the chemistry and the fact that they're kind of working together now. But it was nice to see the hustle and the grit from these, like, I don't know, like, you know,
These fresh-faced little kids.
Fresh-faced little kids that are like talent monsters and not like, you know, push up against the boards kind of people. Like that was some hungry hustle out there from a skill player.
It was really fun to watch.
Enjoyable. Yep.
It was great. And I saw somebody online say that where Chicago messed up was not having a little friend already waiting for Connor Bedard.
He needs a little friend.
He needs a little friend.
Yeah.
Just another little guy who just is there to be his little friend.
That'd be funny. A little
hockey friend for Connor Bedard. Let's have auditions. Probably my favorite part of the game, though, was another NHL clip that they showed in the shorts that just said hang it in the Louvre, where you see Jack Eichel, and in the background, there's some Sharks fan who's this sort of otherwise mild-mannered looking middle-aged man just giving this exaggerated double thumbs down and sticking his tongue out.
Yeah.
Which is great. It kind of gives the same energy as the little kid flipping off Mason Marchment.
But they had it in like
the wild.
Yeah, they had it in like slow-mo with
Nuss and Dorma, or one of those classical songs.
Yeah, like operatic, like super emotional. It was funny.
It was great. I mean, listen, that guy, me too. I also feel the same way. I would have been doing the middle fingers, though.
See, yeah.
So, Saturday, the Canadians put their backup goalie, Caden Primo, on waivers and brought up Jacob Dobas from their AHL affiliate, the Laval Rocket.
Yep.
Dobas made his NHL debut against the Panthers.
Sure.
Which that's got to be scary. You know, you're the Habs. You've been up and down all season.
You're terrible.
your backup goalie has struggled to the point where they're putting him on waivers so they can bring you up.
Yep.
And you have to go up against the reigning Cup champs.
On an away game
in Florida.
Yep.
So what does Dobas do? Just casually gets a shutout.
Yeah.
Like, what a cool kid.
You want to talk about ruffling helmets. They like were so happy for that kid.
Oh my God. They thought he was the best.
Yeah.
They were so excited about him.
Yeah. And that was a shutout where, like, it's not because there were no shot attempts or good shot. Like he did his work out there.
Yeah, no, he was up against the Panthers. The Panthers have had a bad couple of games here, but it's not for lack of effort. They just weren't able to finish, but they were really trying to do it. He had some spectacular saves in there.
Yeah, we saw parts of it, and I was like, oh, here's where they crack him. Nope.
Never. He was just cool as a cucumber. He was great. And his post-game interview was really funny, too, because one of the reporters was like, is this the best gift you could have given your parents for Christmas, is, you know, a shutout in your NHL debut? And he was like, mostly my mom just wants me to be healthy. He's Czech. They're very low key.
Yeah.
It was very sweet. So I was really happy for him. I don't know who he is, but I'm happy when people do well.
We want people to do well.
Even if it's against a team that I enjoy.
Yeah.
The biggest news of the night was probably the return of Alex Ovechkin.
Oh, yes, that's right.
As you may remember, back on November 18th, he collided with Utah forward Jack McBain and left the game with what would later turn out to be a fractured left fibula.
Yeah.
It took them 3 days to diagnose that, I guess, because the swelling was so bad.
Yikes.
Ovechkin was back against the ice on the Leafs on the 28th. So that was 41 days since the injury.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
That is insane.
To break your leg.
Yeah.
And then 41 days later, just be back out there.
Yeah.
Skating at the NHL level.
That's some bionic human shit, right?
It's completely insane. And he was actually cleared for contact on December 20th. So he could have done that sooner, like a week sooner.
Wow.
And he scored a goal. So he's back in that Gretzky race.
Yeah. Right. It's like, sure, here I am. Here's a goal.
Yeah.
Even if it was an empty net.
Yeah. Who cares? He's like, whatever.
It counts.
It counts. You just do it. You might have heard them referencing the phrase Russian machine never breaks during.
I think I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you might enjoy hearing the origin of that.
Okay.
That's an actual phrase that goes back.
Sure.
So back in 2006, when Ovi was just a little mini fridge, before he was a huge industrial refrigerator, in his second NHL season, he caught a puck to the foot during a game. And there were less than 3 seconds left in the game. So he went off the ice. And everyone was like frantic because, you know, he's supposed to be the savior for the Caps who had really sucked for a long time. And what happened? And is he going to be okay? So all the reporters are trying to get the story. So there's Tariq El-Bashir, who's a sports writer, who at the time I think was writing for Washington Post. He writes for The Athletic now, amongst other publications. That he was covering the story. And he wrote an article quoting the then coach as saying that Ovechkin was 100% good to go and didn't require medical treatment. And then he also included this direct quote from Ovechkin because he said that Ovechkin always gave great quotes and he knew it would catch on with people. Ove said, "I'm okay. Russian machine never breaks." But he didn't realize like how viral it would go. I mean, people made T-shirts about it. There is a sports blog called Russian Machine Never Breaks that is named for that quote that covers the Capitals.
Yeah.
So it has really become sort of an enduring quote, and that's what people think of when they think of him. And it has proved to be really true because he is crazy about not missing games due to illness or injury.
Right.
And even now, sort of in the twilight of his career, he broke his goddamn leg. And like,
he's like, let's go.
A month and 10 days later, it's like, all right, here, cool, here I am. Let's skate.
Yeah. Wild man.
Like, what a lunatic.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of all I have for hockey news right now.
That's it for hockey news. I like it. Yeah. Quiet week.
Quiet week. And that's okay with me.
Yeah.
So I guess that means we have to talk about the Stars.
Okay. We could talk about the Flyers.
I mean, we can. We'll talk about both of them. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been an up and down couple of weeks for both of them. Let's be real. We'll just go ahead and start with the Stars because that's where my notes are.
All right. Sounds good.
So Monday, December 23rd, the Stars played in Utah. We finally gave poor Jake Ottinger a night off and let his backup start. Maybe because the backup won the time we started him against Utah before. So maybe they finally trusted him to start again. IDK. Colin Blackwell opened the scoring in the first, just kind of casually stealing a puck in the neutral zone and beating the goalie. And he had a pretty spectacular defensive play. Utah did tie the score 1-1 by the end of the first. But at a certain point during the game, they decided to change things up a little bit. And they moved Colin Blackwell from the fourth line up to the second line with Marchment and Duchesne. I think just because of all the effort he was putting in. And he looked really great. He put in a lot of hustle. He didn't score again, but there was one point where he was driving the net so hard. The puck didn't go in, but he went. And he was fully inside of the hockey net.
Love that hustle. And
he's also tiny. He is about the same size as Logan Stankoven. So
he looks bigger than that.
He does.
It's probably the beard.
Probably the beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like
beard adds like 2 inches.
Yeah. He's just an adult. He looks like an adult.
He does. He looks like an adult.
He does. It's true. Some other line scrambling they did was they moved Maverick Bourque up to the top line with Robo and Robe Hintz.
Yep.
And that actually led to a really great goal as well. Bourque did a primary assist for Robe that was just really neat to watch. I made you watch the replay. I'm sure you don't remember because this was like a week ago.
Yep, I don't.
Yeah. It's fine. Just trust me. It was really cool.
Awesome.
It was just nice to see somebody who could keep up with Robe speed-wise.
Oh, I remember you talking.
Robo certainly cannot.
I remember you talking about that. Yeah, well, Robo doesn't have any knees. You just stick legs, so he can't go that fast.
I don't know what's going on. The knees are the least of the issue. So that was really good too. But really, Blackwell was kind of the star of the game. He got to win the special boy hat.
Yep.
We did win the game 3-2. So that was something. I did really love in the post-game interview, Colin Blackwell mentioned that any of the Stars players who didn't have family nearby or anybody to spend the holidays with was invited to come to his house and spend the holidays with his family.
Nice.
So I thought that was very sweet. I posted about it that night. I said, he's not a stepdad. He's the dad who stepped up.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that they just need that right now because it just, like I've said, it feels like Jamie Benn or whoever, they're being a bunch of deadbeat dads to their kids right now.
Yeah, Jamie Benn is certainly, he seems, I don't know, maybe like he's getting ready for vacation mode. Like he's starting to move around like mutual funds and stuff. I don't know what's going on with him.
He just doesn't seem to be around very much.
I mean, he's playing reasonable and he looks good out there, but he just seems vacant.
Yeah, no,
Not that he hasn't always looked a little vacant, but
that's kind of part of his thing.
yeah. But I don't know. There does seem to be some lack of presence, I guess I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like when they did that gingerbread decorating thing that they did that we talked about last week. Jamie wasn't there. And
why would he be? He doesn't have to do that shit.
I know, but
that's the problem. Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yep.
I know it's the last year of his contract. I know Jim Nill has been like, we'll just keep signing him until he retires. But like, I don't know, maybe he's tired. Maybe he's just done. I don't know.
We don't know.
I hope not, but I guess we'll see.
Yep.
And again, this is all just based on what I can see, which is obviously not anything.
Right.
You know, this is just the very, very small glimpse of a sliver of a piece of pie that we get as the public.
Yeah, for sure.
So we have no idea what's going on back behind the scenes.
We're literally just making shit up.
Literally just inventing things wholesale. So, but, you know, I'm glad Colin Blackwell at least is there to parent these poor neglected children.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Because we've seen how good Wyatt Johnston is at being the dad.
He's trying real hard, but he's too young. He's still a baby.
Exactly.
That's why they've put the daddy daycare line back together. He's back with Jamie and with Dodonov now. And that's going pretty well, actually, which we can talk about right now as we talk about Friday's game against the Wild.
All right, let's do it.
So the Wild.
The Wild. We
went into this game and a lot of people online were like, oh, this one's going to be great. The Wild suck. Kaprizov's injured, so it's going to be easy peasy.
Yeah, those people.
Like, guys.
You shouldn't say things like that.
I was like, guys, this is A, it's tempting fate, but B, I don't think they've been watching the Wild this season. The Wild are so much better than they have been.
Yeah.
And they're better than anybody expected them to be.
Right.
They've been on a bit of a losing skid the last, I think they've lost like 6 out of the last 9 games or something. So
sure.
Definitely have been on a downslide. But they have overall looked so much better.
Yeah, we've watched a handful of their games and I don't get bored watching them. I'm excited by them. The way they play, I think I said this during the game, like they never seem out of sorts. Like when things start going wrong, it feels like they just get creative and are like not stressed about it. I don't know. That's from a very, very casual 30,000 foot view.
Yeah.
According to Fred. No, I'm with you. So I will say that the Stars started out looking really, really good. I often worry about us when we come back after a break. We tend to look a little sleepy. Yeah.
Like remember our first game in Finland after we'd had almost a week off. And I know there was acclimating and traveling around the world and yada, yada, but we just looked very not awake.
Yeah.
We're sleepy boys. We're very tired. We need a nap.
Yeah, for sure.
So this Dallas Stars are you, basically. They're sleepy boys who need a nap.
Exactly.
That's why I like them so much, because I like you so much. So, no, they came out. They looked good. A lot of times it looks like they're coming out playing down to the level of their competitor, whatever they think that might be. But they came out sort of playing their own game.
Yeah.
And they had decent energy. They looked good. They were pretty crisp.
Yeah.
They kept the lines from the end of the last game, which had been working pretty well. So Bork stayed up on the top line. Blackwell stayed up on the second line. And then that daddy daycare line was back together like we talked about. The third line of Wyatt Johnston, Jamie Benn, Evgeny Dodonov. And they've really discovered their chemistry, that daddy daycare line. The first goal came from Dodonov off of an assist from Wyatt and a secondary from Jamie.
Yeah. Well, that was a good looking goal.
It was so good. Yeah. It was just really crisp and precise. And everybody just seemed to be...
Everyone was locked in on that one.
Yeah. There was a vibe. They were communicating. And there was kind of like a no-look drop pass from Dodonov. Or no, that one was the second one. Sorry.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah. So the second one, Wyatt scored.
Yeah.
And that one was off of a no-look drop pass from Dodonov. And then Wyatt did some fancy stick handling and got that in. And that was also all kind of the result of some work by Ilya Lyubushkin, who sort of...
Oh, he broke it up along the boards, right?
Yep, he broke it up along the boards, got the puck out to Dodonov, and then he kept skating and sort of took the defenders with him so Dodonov could get that puck to Wyatt without any interference.
Yeah.
So 2 really great looking goals where it looked very intentional.
Right.
It wasn't just like scrambling around. Like it looked like they knew what they were doing and they were working together. And it wasn't like a set play necessarily, but it was like, I don't know, it was intentional. It was nice.
Right.
I liked it.
Agree.
I think everyone's feeling pretty good. And then
this was like in the first?
First goal was in the first period. Second goal was in the second period.
Okay. 2-0.
2-0.
That's a safe lead.
The safest lead in all of hockey. So the announcers kind of noticed that in the last couple of minutes of that third period, or of the second period, sorry, that the Wild did pick it up a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, they looked good in the last 2 minutes.
They did. They had a really good chance on goal. It looked like Ottinger made a great save at first, but it turned out to be a post.
Yeah. Yeah, they were starting to work him over there. I feel like Dallas was out defending for a long time. Like the shifts were not able to change. So yeah, good momentum for the enemy team going into the third.
Yes. And the commentators pointed that out. They said the Wild were starting to look a little spicy and we needed to be careful. So at first we kind of held them off as the third period began, but about halfway through the third period, the Wild scored. Mm-hmm. And then not even a minute later, they scored again. And then the game was tied 2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
Not good.
Not good. Not great if you're a Stars fan. Great probably if you're a Wild fan.
Yeah. Yeah. That's...
So, they played it out and we ended up forcing the game into overtime. And then as soon as we got into overtime, I don't think it was even a minute in, Brock Faber scored a really sick wraparound goal on Jake Ottinger to seal the game in favor of the Wild. It was a really pretty goal.
It was great.
Would have loved it if it wasn't against my team.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was against my team, so I therefore did not love it.
But we do know Brock Faber.
We do. Their social media team with the Wilds has been doing a really great job of getting their guys out there. And
yeah. No, I was like, oh, look, it's Brock. I know that guy. He's kind of goofy and doesn't have the best personality, but it's there.
It's there. He was upside down in a picture and he wears glasses off the ice, even though he doesn't need to.
Yeah, he's a little Clark Kent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He did an interview with the puppies.
He did. That was pretty cute.
Yep, so.
Didn't he try to steal one of the puppies at the end?
I think so.
He was just like, all right, we're going home now.
And see, that's what social media does for your involvement with the team.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't know these guys. We don't usually care about these guys. But now we're like, oh, hey, it's that guy who tried to steal a puppy.
Yeah.
So, favorably in a good way. He's not like a bad puppy stealer. He's a good puppy stealer. Yeah, it just really... As much as the Stars did look a lot better in that game than we have been looking, I think it just really highlighted that we don't have a lot of fight right now.
Yeah.
Because it was the second the Wilds had any blood in the water, it was like they got that one goal and they were like, kick it up 11 notches.
Yeah.
That was, they just put their foot on the gas after that and they couldn't be stopped. And we just started to look real confused.
Yep.
So it's just we don't have another gear. We have one gear.
Right.
It's like when our kid is like, hey, let's run to cross the street. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't run. I have one speed and it's whatever speed I'm going at any current moment. Mm-hmm. The Dallas Stars have one speed and it's whatever their speed is at this current moment.
Right.
And it's not fast enough.
Yeah. Well, Duchesne has that afterburner button, but I think you can only use that once every 10 games or something.
Something like that. It's just not working.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was... I don't know. I think people are starting to get concerned and see the concerns.
Well, they had a good power play at least, right?
I mean, if by a good power play you mean that we took out one of our own players with a puck to the face, then yeah, it was a great power play.
Oh, okay.
But at least they didn't score shorthanded on us, so...
I mean, yeah, that's a good power play. No shorthand goals against.
Yes. No, that was really the worst part about the game is that poor Mason Marchment once again took a puck to the face. Once again at the hands of his own teammate.
What an embellisher.
What an embellisher. Such a drama queen.
Puts his face right in front of the puck.
Right in front of the puck.
Just so he can get a call.
And then he clearly just crushed up blood capsules in his mouth to spit them out on the ice because that was just so much blood all over the ice.
Right.
Obviously he just faked that somehow.
Yeah, and being admitted to the hospital was a fake.
Right, of course, definitely. Yeah.
So what a bummer.
I just feel so bad for him.
Man.
Poor mush.
Yeah, he's in the wrong place at the wrong time sometimes. So.
Is everyone just jealous of his beautiful face? Do you think that's what's going on?
Maybe. I don't know.
Those intense eyes. They're just no, I must destroy what I can't have. I felt like destroying something beautiful. Is that the line from Fight Club?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happened.
Who shot the puck? Do you remember?
That was Stankoven.
Oh, poor Stankoven.
I think the last time it was Wyatt, too. So maybe it's all these young guys. Maybe they're like, we have to kill our...
Yeah, he's like the
older brother.
I think he's their uncle.
He could be. He could be the weird uncle, too.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on, but you guys leave Mason Marchment's face alone.
Yeah. So
They're not going to have a choice because he's apparently out week to week now.
he's week to week. Okay, that's what I was
the
going to
latest
ask.
I had heard.
Yeah.
So we don't know too many other details beyond that. But I'm very, very sad for him. That's not fun.
So the people that were really holding that team together are out now.
Sagan and Marchment.
Right.
Yeah, Sagan's out for pretty much the rest of the regular season. Marchment week to week, probably.
Yikes.
I mean, Dumba's also out on IR, but he was not holding the team together.
No. That's not who I was talking about.
No. So that's pretty depressing. Let's talk about the Flyers instead.
Let's do it.
So Monday, the Flyers played the Penguins, and the Penguins won 7-3. So, okay, this is still depressing, actually.
Well, yeah, that's moving on.
Yeah. There's a few things we can talk about.
Cool.
It was a really rough game, and a lot of it came down to goaltending. Urson let in 4 goals on 10 shots in the first period.
Oh, this was the one where after the first goal, I was like, he needs to go.
Yeah, and then in the second period, he was still there.
I don't know why they let... He looked bad from the get-go.
Yeah, I think the first 2 goals were off of the first 3 shots.
Yeah, no, it was rough. I was like... I said it after the first one, and I continued to say it after the second one. It was very clear to me, former goalie coach, NHL superstar analyst, me, that he needed to be pulled.
The guy who, doesn't know anything about hockey.
Yeah.
No, you did. You did say that. And we were very confused that he was still in the goal in the second period.
I did not understand it.
He did only let one more goal in the second period. But at that point, they did, for the third period, switch him with Kolosov.
Yeah.
But there were some bright spots. Cates and Zamula scored, and Couturier also scored, which was his first game back since his second child was born. But other than that, I think it's best that we just put that one in the vaults and lock the key and just think.
Yeah, I think the only takeaway from that game is Kate scored.
Yes. Kate's, not Kate.
Yeah.
I didn't score.
No, I didn't think you did.
No, Kate.
That one got called back.
Right.
Yeah.
It always
goalie interference.
Just me and Marchment just constantly targeted. Last night was Saturday, and the Flyers played in Anaheim at the Ducks.
Yep.
That game went a little bit better. The Flyers won 3-1. The Flyers are actually kicking off a 5-game road trip that's largely on the West Coast. This was their first stop. It was Jamie Drysdale's first time back in Anaheim since he was traded for Cutter Gauthier.
Right.
Pretty infamously last season.
Drama.
I won't get too much into the Cutter Gauthier drama because it's been talked to death. I will say that reporters asked him about, how he was feeling about the game since it was the first time the teams were meeting up, I guess, since the trade. And he said something about the date being circled on his calendar.
Yeah.
And then a reporter asked Tortorella about him saying that. And Tortorella said, I don't give a shit what he says. I'm not interested in answering any questions about Cutter Gauthier. I don't wish anything bad on the kid. I'm just not going to answer any questions about it.
Yeah. He's like,
which is great and valid and fair.
He's not a player on my team. I'm not going to talk about him.
Yeah. He's like, I don't care. Like, why are you making this a thing? It's not a thing anymore.
Right.
So, and I think the best thing we can do is just move on.
Yeah. Well, I'm still waiting for when the Ducks come to Philly.
Oh, yeah. No, that's going to be funny.
That's going to be funny. And
there were a lot of Philly fans at the game.
I tell you what,
they did boo every time he touched the puck.
It was noticeable how many fans were there from Philly and the booing when he touched the puck.
It was pretty entertaining.
Love that. On your home game, getting booed when you touch the puck.
Mm-hmm. Because of a team that you didn't play for.
Yeah. And then you lose to them.
It's a
good story.
And he did not score any goals.
Mm-hmm.
He did go to the penalty box for hooking.
Yep.
So, who did score? Some Flyers players.
Okay.
Frost scored.
Yep.
Farabee scored.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, Noah Cates scored.
Yeah, see, I knew that. I knew that was important. He's been scoring.
This is his 5th straight game in a row that he has scored a goal.
That's awesome.
That's crazy good for him.
Yeah,
so
right?
He's really, really stepped it up, and he's playing with a lot more confidence. He's looking great. Speaking of confidence, they had Ersson back in the net.
Mm-hmm.
He looked really good.
He did.
He looked so solid.
I did not feel like we needed to pull him at any point in time.
No, there was never a point where it was like, nope, get him out of there.
Nope, he was good.
He was really good. He made some really clutch saves. He only let the 1 goal in. It was also Bobby Brink's 100th NHL game and Travis Konechny's 600th game.
My God.
So milestones all over the place. Good win, 3-1 in favor of the Flyers. So I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Good way to kick off a roadie.
Yeah, they looked okay. It was a little touch and go at times, but I think that's just the way the Flyers enjoy playing. I will say Cates looks happy.
He does.
Right?
He just looks real happy.
He looks relaxed and he looks happy.
And it's like the more he scores, like the happier he gets. And it's just like this positive feedback loop that's really nice.
And I feel like Brink is starting to look happier too.
He is.
I don't think
so
he's there.
too.
I don't think he's there yet.
No, probably not yet.
And I think
it takes some time.
And I think Michkov is starting to look less happy.
He is, but I think that's just because he puts a lot of pressure on himself and he's been having a bit of a slowdown. But I think it's going to be okay. I think he's going to turn it around.
Yeah.
This happens. You know, people go hot and cold, and these are things that happen.
Mm-hmm.
For me, one of the most fun things that happened actually happened off the ice. So before Drysdale got traded to Philly, he and Trevor Zegras were BFFs. Trevor Zegras, you know him.
I know the name. He's the
lacrosse school guy, the Michigan guy.
Yeah. He's the hot stuff.
He's got the floppy hair.
Sure.
People tend to not like him because they think he's sort of cocky and showboaty.
Yeah.
Also, similar to Jamie Drysdale, he has had lots of injury issues. They kind of came into the league at the same time and were in the AHL at the same time and came up to the NHL around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been bros right along. They were roommates in the AHL. They were roommates in the NHL. Pretty much every time one of them got injured, the other one got injured too. So they were always on IR together.
That's so they could play video games together.
Probably.
Yep.
According to Trevor Zegras, who spoke on a podcast, they used to go watch the sunset together every night at 6 o'clock from their roof. You know,
okay.
Bro stuff.
Just normal bro stuff.
Just normal bro stuff. Another quote he gave after they traded, you know, he was talking about how hard it was when Jamie got traded. He said that, you know, it was really lonely being on IR because he was injured not long after Jamie got traded. And usually Jamie's also injured and we're on IR together.
Right.
And he wasn't here. And it was a real bummer.
You're like, oh, it's okay. He's on IR across the country. You guys can just do a Zoom call.
I know. One of the quotes he has given at one point, he said, "We pretty much do everything together. We pee together. We get injured together. We sleep together." They are some codependent bros. They're brodependent.
Yeah. Two out of those three things are questionable.
The peeing together is the one that really gives me the pause. Like sleeping together, taking a nap, that's fine. Peeing together, that's a little weird for me.
Yeah. Yeah, moving on.
Well, anyway, the whole reason I'm bringing this up is that Zegras isn't playing right now with the Ducks because he's injured, of course. Mm-hmm. He had surgery on his knee in December for a torn meniscus. But even though he's out with an injury, according to Kevin Kurz of The Athletic, he was patiently waiting outside of the Flyers dressing room to meet up with Jamie after the game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is so sweet.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, I'm just picturing him like a little polite dog waiting for his master.
He's like, come on, let's go to the bathroom. Let's pee.
Let's pee. Let's go pee. It's been so long. I miss my pee, bro. So since it was a shorter week, I thought we might have time for a little game today.
All right. Sounds good.
So New Year's is coming up.
Yep.
As we all know, this is the time when we all resolve to do things and then don't do them, but
right.
Whatever. It's nice to at least make an effort, I guess, or talk about making an effort.
With a resolution.
With a resolution.
Yeah. I'm not much of a resolution person.
Me either. Mostly because I know I'm not going to follow through.
I come up with impossible, weird resolutions most of the time. Going back to high school.
Yeah.
Back to like high school and the Olympics was going on, and I noticed how efficiently Olympic swimmers dried themselves off with towels, and that was my New Year's resolution, was to like get really good at drying myself off with a towel after I got out of the shower. So I just come up with bullshit.
I just learned something brand new about you. 2 decades together.
I feel like I've said that before.
If you have, I've repressed it.
Yeah.
It's better than the time I learned about when you accidentally left a chakra open.
Yeah, I mean, that can happen. You got to be careful with those chakras.
Chakras. Okay.
But anyway, I've always come up with like silly ones, like time travel, etc.
So, perfectly normal stuff.
Yeah, not really a fan of, just live your life every day, and you don't need to wait and whatever.
Well, I don't do resolutions because I know that I won't follow through with them. So there's no point to it.
Yeah.
But I did think it would be fun if we maybe talked about some resolutions that certain players or NHL teams could make.
Yep.
Just to maybe make this upcoming year a little better for them. Mm-hmm. So we kind of just came up with our own list this time.
Yeah.
Of who we thought we should make resolutions for on their behalf, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some different players. We did also both come up with resolutions for the Dallas Stars and for the Philadelphia Flyers. I guess let's maybe start with some of the players.
Okay. Yeah. And let me preface this by saying this is tough for me because I don't know. Resolutions are a weird thing for me. So
And you don't know anything.
True.
That too. Did you want to get it started or you want me to get it started?
You get it started.
All right. Well, I started with a few Dallas Stars players, and some of these are kind of going back to things we've already talked about. So for Jamie Benn, his resolution, take care of your kids.
Wow.
Step it up.
Calling them out.
Be the dad that we know that you can be.
Yeah.
Like, something's going wrong with those kids.
Right.
They need a strong father figure in their life.
Yeah.
Colin Blackwell's trying, but he's brand new.
Yeah.
You can't put it all on him.
He's paying the alimony, and the child support, but he's not
showing up for visitation.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's more to being a good father than just living up to your child support obligation.
Right.
You have to be present in your child's life.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that that's having positive effects with Wyatt Johnston being on his line with him and Dodov. So
yep,
let's keep that going. Come on.
That's good.
Step it up, Jamie.
Yeah.
We know you're better than this.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really come up with any Stars players except Wedgwood, who's not a Stars player anymore. I guess I did think of Bishel.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Give me some Bishel.
Carry on. That's all. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Just keep doing it.
Yep. I've got no notes for him other than that thing you're doing. Keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
Yep.
No, he's great. That's kind of exactly what I would have said had I come up with something.
Yep.
I did come up with one for Jason Robertson as well. I think he needs to resolve to get an extreme hairstyle this year.
I don't know if it's going to help.
Well, Martin Nietzsche from the Hurricanes bleached his hair and totally revitalized his career. So
okay.
Let's get Robo some blonde tips or something.
Interesting. Yeah, he is from California too, right?
He is. Let's get him some kind of a, fancy hair makeover and see if that maybe helps. Maybe he just needs to shake it up in the looks department. He just needs a makeover. He just needs to take his glasses off and shake his hair down.
He's going to look goofy with blonde hair.
I know. So even if he doesn't get better at hockey, at least I'll have fun.
And then it'll stick out his helmet like it does.
Like his little tufts. So that'll be great. That'll be extra cute tufts. He'll look like a little baby duckling.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So listen, I'm not saying that's a good resolution, but I'm saying it would at the very least be entertaining for me personally.
Yeah. I'm with it.
But yeah, no, shaking up your hairstyle can really be good for changing up your life.
Yeah.
So why not? Just consider it, Robo.
Yeah.
Do something.
I think in that sense, I didn't think about him, but maybe a new hobby. His hobbies are boring as hell. It's like golf and fishing. Come on. Let's he's from California, maybe surfing. Do something a little bit more interesting.
It does seem like maybe he just needs a little adrenaline in his life or something.
Yeah.
He's the sleepiest of the sleepy boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not great. So, yeah, I think that's all I had for individual Stars players.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any other players for any other teams?
I did, yeah. So I've got Swayman.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
Get it together.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, how would he get it together? I feel like he needs to find a little more peace and center in his life. I feel like the contract stuff has kind of spun him a little bit out of control, and he needs to find a little more center in his life and get it together.
I think you're right. He does seem very aggro this year. There's a lot of lashing out and punching players during the plays of the game.
Right.
That leads to goals coming in. That's not good goalieing.
No.
My limited experience.
Yeah, no, I feel like he's got something to work through and just needs to settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
And get it together.
Yeah, I feel like maybe the contract negotiations brought up all of the bad stuff from the arbitration a couple years ago.
Right.
He's still, I don't know.
He needs to work.
The length of it and the publicness of it really messed with him. And I think you're right. I think he needs to maybe step up his sessions with his sports psychiatrist or whoever he sees and maybe just do some centering work.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I have actually somebody we've already talked about this podcast. I have Trevor Zegras on my list.
Really? Interesting.
And my resolution for him is that he needs to head east.
Head east. I love that.
So people have made compelling arguments that he could be a good fit on the Devils roster.
Ooh.
People have talked about maybe he needs to be traded.
Yeah.
He and Jamie were supposed to sort of be the young guys on the Ducks. I think the Ducks really fucked up their development personally.
Yep.
It wasn't great. He's been out so long. I just don't, they've got these new younger guys coming in. I just don't know where he fits on the Ducks this time around.
Yeah, sure.
But the Devils, they've got some good people in the top 6, but I think they could use maybe one more.
Yeah.
Could slot in really well there. He and Jack Hughes are friends going way, way back to when they were young teenagers, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They played on the U.S. national development team together. They were both drafted in the top 10 in 2019. Most importantly, if he's in New Jersey, he is so much closer geographically to Jamie Drysdale.
Yeah.
So when they're both injured, like they could just find a place in the middle and live together and then do their, respective rehab and be fine.
Yeah. I feel like just being in the general like time zone of your codependent friend.
Your brodependent.
That'll help the brodependency.
Yeah.
It'll give them both power.
Exactly. And it's like, just transferring him to the Flyers, it's not going to help because then they're just going to become immediately brodependent again.
Yeah.
But also the Flyers don't really need what he can do right now.
Right.
So they've got other issues going on. And I don't think they could afford him regardless.
Yeah.
But the Devils, I don't know. I don't know enough about the Devils to know if they could afford him or even if he would be that much of a help. It's just a rumor I've heard. And I just feel like maybe bringing him closer to his bro could maybe help them both.
Agree. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other players that I have, did you have Matthew Tkachuk?
Of course I did.
So my only resolution for him is like when he's doing his pesty thing and when he's like being himself, just to have more fun with it. Because sometimes it seems like he gets a little too serious and it's like not as fun for me. Like I know he's having fun inside, but I just want to see it outside. Like I want to see the smiles. I want to see the giggles.
You just want it to be clear that he's trolling and not like...
Yeah, a little more clear. I just... And I feel like once you lean into that, you can be like even more pesty.
Yeah, I'm down with that. My resolution for him was just to keep his mouth guard in for one entire shift.
Oof.
Just for funsies.
No, that's not going to happen.
I didn't even say an entire game.
It's going to throw
one shift.
It's going to throw his balance off.
It's true. I don't even know if he could physically do it. It's just funny to me that like even whenever there's like a promo poster or something of him, like for the Four Nations face-off, they legitimately can't find an action shot of him where his mouth guard is not hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, either Photoshop that shit out or I don't know what, but like, I've seen people refer to him as mouth guard Tkachuk and it makes me laugh every time.
It's the brand.
It is the brand.
Yeah.
And then I guess just because they're always sort of inexplicably intertwined in my mind, I will move on to Leon Draisaitl.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I also had a resolution for.
Mm-hmm.
My resolution for Leon Draisaitl, don't let anyone dull your shine.
Ooh.
So someone on Reddit put together this post breaking down all of Draisaitl's stats this year, showing that he has a case for MVP. He's really impressive in all of these different things, including defensively. And somebody in the comments pointed out that it has been 27 games since Leon committed a so-called pissy penalty, like a, random cross-check or spearing or things like that.
Right.
He has been in the penalty box, but for probably things like delay of game or whatever.
Okay.
So he hasn't been committing pissy penalties. Mm-hmm. And I don't like that trajectory for him.
Oh, okay.
He is one of the least unfortunate looking hockey players. He's crazy talented.
Right.
He has so much going for him. I happen to enjoy that he's a petulant little chaos goblin because it keeps him from being too perfect. Mm-hmm. I don't want him to lose that little bit of brattiness that I think keeps him from being too much of a cover model.
Yeah.
Keep being a bitch, Leon. That's the best. That's your best quality.
You want brat winter and spring.
Brat year round. Brat all the seasons for Leon Draisaitl.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
He probably would like that Charlie XCX album.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it would appeal to him.
I hope so.
All right. So I also had Wedgwood.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear Wedgwood.
I just want him to relax and enjoy and maybe explore Colorado with his family.
Maybe he should come to see us.
Maybe he should come to see us.
We could take them on a tour.
Yeah. I feel like he's probably just going to Aspen and Breckenridge but I feel like he needs to get out and explore some of these smaller towns.
He should go to Manitou Springs. It's really cute.
It's really cute there. Yeah.
So cute.
And if he goes to Estes Park, he should just give us a ring and we could show him around.
Yeah, exactly. It's a complicated drive.
Yeah, exactly.
We're used to it.
I'll drive him there.
Then he can enjoy the sights.
As long as we can drive his car.
Exactly. I also, for individual players, had Mitch Marner.
Oh, yeah. You've got a little thing for him, huh?
Not a thing. I feel very defensive or maternal about him.
Okay.
I want to say probably because even though he's 30 or close to it,
Right.
He looks like a small child.
He does look like an annoying 14-year-old that's playing Fortnite.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't follow the Leafs super closely, but from my impression, he's having a really great year.
Yeah, he is.
He already has 50 points this season.
Wow.
Which I think ties him for third place.
Yeah.
with Connor McDavid. The only people ahead of them are McKinnon, Kucherov, Draisaitl, and Rantanen. He is the leading points producer for the Leafs. The new coach, Craig Berube, seems to like him, which a lot of people were like, oh, he's not going to like Mitch. He's like very old school and stuff.
Right.
But he just talks very highly of Mitch all the time and his defensive capabilities. Back in November, when everyone was sick and injured and they like didn't have enough centers, he was talking about, oh, I was thinking about maybe trying Mitch Marner as a center. Mitch Marner hasn't played center since, junior hockey, I think. But he talked to Mitch about it. And Mitch was like, yeah, sure. Like, put me in, coach. Like, he's just real game. He'll do anything. He's leading the Leafs in points right now. He's really stepped it up. So my resolution for him is to crush it at the playoffs this year. Because I just think that no matter how well he does in the regular season, the people who don't like him are always going to point to his playoff production as the reason not to like him. And it's like, well, it doesn't matter how well he does in the regular season if he doesn't do well in playoffs, which I get. But also, if they don't do well in the regular season, they don't get to playoffs.
And it seems like he's a big part of them doing well.
Seems like he's pretty up there.
Right.
Like, if you look at all the high up stats there right now, it's him and Nylander and Tavares, and it would be Austin Matthews, but he's missed a lot of games. So,
right.
I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for. Now, do I think that if he steps it up and has a great playoff performance, that people will automatically change their minds? No, absolutely not. I think he could single-handedly win the cup on one foot, and people would be like, fluke.
Yep.
Even Leafs fans.
Oh yeah. No, I know. They seem pretty wild.
Right. But I just want him to have a really good playoff showing, just so that maybe a couple of people would maybe cut him a little bit of slack. Because I think he's trying, guys.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. He didn't go to lawyer school.
No, he sure didn't.
And then that's the only other resolutions I have are for the Flyers and the Stars. Do you have anybody we didn't talk about?
I do not. I have Flyers and Stars, and I also have DeBoer, which is kind of related to Stars. Yeah.
Well, let's go on to the Flyers.
All right.
What was your resolution for the Flyers?
My resolution is just keep playing your game. That's literally what Tort says. Like, I don't think they're getting frustrated with it. I think the vibes are good. I don't think that there's a lot of pressure on them, and I think they should just keep doing what they're doing, and we'll see how it shakes out.
You and I thought very along the same lines. What I wrote was continue to be ungovernable.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's real good.
Because they're chaotic in the best way.
Yeah.
And I think it's working for them. I don't think they're going to go all the way to the cup or anything with it, but they're in this rebuild time, and that can be really frustrating for a lot of teams, and a lot of teams can kind of stagnate, and they're not doing that. They are still fighting. They are still figuring out ways to do stuff. Mm-hmm. They're not giving up. They, I think, are improving as players and people during this rebuild process. And I think they just need to continue to do that and improve their skills while also not letting go of the chaos within. Yeah.
No, I think that's perfect and accurate. I would like to see them make it to the first round of the playoffs randomly. I'd like to see them be the shocking story, just so some of those guys can get some playoff experience. But
I don't. A lot of people don't want them to make it to the playoffs because then they would get a better draft pick. But we have a lot of good draft picks.
Yeah, I'm fine with them. Just I feel like some of those guys just need to get a taste of it.
Oh God, get Michkov some playoffs experience.
Right.
That's going to just be a shot of pure adrenaline for that kid.
Yeah,
he's going to have a blast.
That would be good.
That'll give him something.
Maybe that's my resolution.
Yeah,
shoot for the
playoffs.
Shoot for the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's all. That's all we want. Just the first round.
Just be above.
You can even get swept. We don't care.
No, it doesn't matter.
Show up and just give it a go.
Yeah. Be above the line.
For sure.
I don't think that's probably going to happen this year, but
weirder things have happened, to be sure.
It's true.
All right. And then the Dallas Stars.
Yeah. Well, I'll go first. I would just like them to be consistent, which I think is not a hot take.
No, not at all. It's like the hockey guy did a video that he released on Christmas Day, and it opened with him being like, here it is, Christmas Day, and I'm talking about the Dallas Stars, which has become kind of a meme in the Stars subreddit. It's like, hey, me too. That's me every Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually it's us showing off our Stars merch, but sometimes it's just us crying about the Stars.
Right? Yeah. No, I think that's, what they need. Because, he said in that video, you don't know who's going to show up to the game, whether it's the good Stars or the bad Stars. And as a casual fan, yeah, sometimes they're really fascinating and great to watch. And other times you're just like, oh boy.
They're sleepy boys.
Yeah. So I don't know. Consistency seems pretty good.
Yeah. Is DeBoer included in that assessment? Or
DeBoer, I just wanted him to look inside because it all starts with him.
Yeah.
And I don't feel
You're not
like
going to find any argument for me there.
I don't think he's maybe reflecting in a way that he's looking deep inside himself.
It seems a little surface.
Yeah.
I think he's the king of the sleepy boys.
He might be. Yeah.
I think he's sprinkled sleeping dust on them.
Yeah. And I don't know if he can stick to that resolution. I don't know if that's in his character.
I guess we'll find out.
I guess so.
Well, I bet you know what you think that my resolution for the Stars was.
Win the Stanley Cup.
Nope.
Oh.
And it's not even fixed the power play, because the thing is they should have fixed the power play months ago. So I'm just going to let that one go for now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back to Mason Marchment, where he caught that puck to the face.
Yeah.
It felt kind of like a metaphor to me. You know, the Dallas Stars this season, we're broken and we keep doing it to ourselves because it was a friendly fire puck that hit Mush in the face.
Right.
So I think the Dallas Stars should resolve to stop using Mason Marchment's beautiful face as a literary device. Stop breaking Mush's face as a metaphor for how broken the Dallas Stars are and how we're doing it to ourselves.
Wow.
Just play hockey, put the puck in the net and not in Mason Marchment's face.
Yeah.
I think that's not a big ask.
That is not a big ask. That should be doable.
Pucks in nets, not in Mason Marchment's face.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
easy enough.
Yeah, right?
I could do that. No.
You couldn't get a puck anywhere. You wouldn't hit Mason Marchment in the face, but you definitely wouldn't get it in the net either.
And if I did hit him in the face, you'd be like, man, that was not very fast.
Also very
He was like, what was that, 20 miles an hour?
Yeah, no, there are a lot of things I could resolve for the Stars. And the truth is that, I'm just a hockey fan. There's nothing that I can say that they don't know better than me about what they need to address.
Well, I mean, you could say they need to address their power play because they apparently don't know about that.
Apparently they haven't caught on to that. But listen, they're hearing it from lots of people. They're not just hearing it from me. And so, so I'm just saying, leave Mason Marchment's face alone. That's the resolution. Leave Mason Marchment's beautiful face alone.
I like it. So we didn't prepare for this, but anything you're hoping to see in the new year with the Stars? Or things that you think you'll see? Do you think there'll be a coaching change?
I don't know if there will be. I am not opposed to it. I'm not going to necessarily say that I'm rooting for it, because it feels weird to be rooting for people to get fired, especially when I think they're nice and kind people.
I mean, I've rooted for plenty of people to be fired over the years.
But were they nice and kind people? I
mean, outside of work, yes.
Probably. Yeah.
But inside work, disaster.
Well, I don't have to work with these people, so I don't feel like I can really say anything one way or another.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel nice to root for people to get fired, but I do think something needs to happen over there and some shakeup needs to happen. And I have thoughts on what that shakeup maybe could be or should be, but I don't know if it's my place to say.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But I would like to see changes. Let's say that. I would like to see positive change.
I'd like to see positive changes.
I'd like to see positive changes from the Dallas Stars.
Yeah. So it could involve personnel. It could involve just play style or line shifts, or could be anything.
It could be anything. It could just be not continuing to hit Mason Marchment in the face.
That could be enough.
That could be the only positive change we need to make. But I would like to see some positive changes from the Dallas Stars, because we're disappointing right now. I just don't want to be disappointing.
And they're in a questionable playoff spot right now.
Yeah, technically we hold a wild card position right now, I believe.
Wow.
But borderline.
Yeah. All right. Good deal.
So what about you? Do you have any big hopes and dreams for the rest of the hockey season?
Nope.
You're just survive it in one piece I can have the summer off again?
I just hope everyone goes out there, plays their best, and has a good time.
Yep, that's pretty on brand for you.
Yep.
And that's the end of regulation for this week's episode of Ice is Slippery. You can find us on Tumblr and Instagram at Ice is Slippery Pod, where I post content whenever I remember. We're also on Twitter now at Slippery Ice Pod. If, like Fred, you're afraid of social media, you can also email us at iceisslipperypod@gmail.com, where we would love to hear your spicy takes or get suggestions for future games. Until next week, stay out of the penalty box.